Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, a nostalgic dive into zombie mayhem. The remaster of Dead Rising in its deluxe version is a treat for both longtime fans and newcomers to the series. Released as part of a wave of remasters of classic games, it brings a polished and updated experience to the beloved zombie-slaying open-world action game that first captivated players nearly 2 decades ago. The original Dead Rising set the bar for zombie games with its unique blend of horror, humor, and sandbox mayhem, and this remaster keeps that legacy intact while offering a fresh coat of paint to ensure it fits into modern gaming standards. Visual upgrades, nostalgia in HD. One of the most noticeable changes in Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster is the visual overhaul. While the original 2006 release was impressive for its time, the remaster truly shines with its upgraded HD textures, dynamic lighting, and sharper character models. The mall, which serves as the game's central hub, feels more alive than ever before. The remaster strikes a careful balance between maintaining the charm of the original and introducing modern visual effects, ensuring that longtime fans aren't alienated by overly drastic changes. The zombies themselves, of course, benefit from this visual improvement. Every undead creature now has more detailed gore effects, making the chaotic slaughter even more satisfying. However, Dead Rising was never about realism. The game's stylized aesthetic remains at the forefront, creating a blend of horror and comic absurdity that sets it apart from more grounded zombie survival games. Performance enhancements, smoother slaughter. Beyond the visual upgrades, Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster delivers significantly improved performance compared to its original counterpart. Frame rates are more stable, loading times are shorter, and the game has been optimized to run seamlessly on modern hardware. These improvements are essential for a game that revolves around fast-paced combat and large crowds of zombies. The original game often struggled under the weight of its own ambition, with frequent frame drops, particularly when the screen filled with hordes of zombies. The remaster alleviates many of these issues, making for a smoother and more enjoyable experience. However, it's worth noting that some of the older mechanics and AI behavior feel dated in comparison to modern action games. For example, the survivors you're tasked with rescuing still have questionable pathfinding at times, making them more of a burden than a relief. These quirks, while part of the original's charm, may frustrate new players who are unfamiliar with the more cumbersome mechanics of older games. Gameplay sandbox carnage at its core. Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster remains the same action-packed, sandbox-style zombie game that made the original so popular. Players once again take control of Frank West, a photojournalist trapped in a zombie-infested mall, as he attempts to uncover the truth behind the outbreak, while fighting off endless waves of the undead. The game's real-time mechanic, where events occur on a strict timeline, adds a layer of urgency and tension to the experience. You'll need to prioritize your missions, decide which survivors to save, and balance your time between uncovering the story and sheer survival. One of Dead Rising's standout features is its creative use of the environment. Almost anything you find in the mall can be used as a weapon, from garden shears to toy swords. This absurdity of wielding random items to fight zombies adds an element of chaotic fun to the game, making each playthrough feel unique as you experiment with new tools of destruction. The remaster doesn't change this formula, and players will still find themselves grinning as they mow down zombies with an oversized stuffed animal, or fend off the undead with a traffic cone. The remaster includes all the downloadable content was available for the original, offering additional costumes, weapons, and storylines to further enhance the experience. This content fits seamlessly into the main game, giving players even more ways to wreak havoc. Storyline: The mystery of the outbreak. The story in Dead Rising is a curious mix of seriousness and absurdity. On one hand, you're dealing with the grim reality of a zombie apocalypse, complete with gruesome deaths and human suffering. On the other hand, the game never takes itself too seriously. The tone is often tongue-in-cheek, with moments of dark humor that break up the tension. Frank West's journey to uncover the truth behind the zombie outbreak is engaging, though it doesn't deviate from the original script. His gruff personality, coupled with a penchant for delivering cheesy one-liners, makes him a memorable protagonist. While the narrative can feel a bit campy at times, it fits well with the overall atmosphere of the game. Players who enjoyed the original's mix of drama and humor will find the remaster's unchanged storyline just as entertaining, audio, atmospheric, and immersive. The remaster also brings updated audio design to the table. The ambient noises of zombies moaning and shuffling through the mall are more immersive, with the soundscape providing an additional layer of tension to the experience. The voice acting remains unchanged, with Frank West's gruff, no-nonsense delivery still intact. While the voice work can be over the top at times, it adds to the campy charm of the game. The background music, too, retains its quirky blend of ominous and upbeat tracks, which perfectly mirrors the game's mix of horror and humor. Final thoughts. A classic revived Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster is, at its heart, a love letter to fans of the original. The improved visuals and performance breathe new life into a game that, despite its age, still holds up remarkably well. The chaotic sandbox-style gameplay is just as fun and engaging as it was in 2006, and the unique blend of horror and humor remains a defining feature of the series. That being said, the remaster doesn't stray far from the source material. While the improved graphics and performance are welcome, some of the more dated mechanics may turn off new players who are used to more modern game design. The survivor AI, in particular, can still be a source of frustration. However, for those willing to embrace the game's quirks and dive into its world of zombie-slaying mayhem, Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster offers a nostalgic yet fresh experience. If you're a fan of the original or a newcomer curious about one of the most unique zombie games ever made, Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster is a worthy addition to your collection. It successfully captures the spirit of the original while giving it enough polish to make it enjoyable for a modern audience. The game's blend of action, creativity, and humor ensures that it remains a standout in the zombie genre, even after all these years.